Hey, if you've gotten a chance to familiarize yourself with our roadmap so far, I'm going to start going. So, I am one of the board members. My name is Avi Berg. This is Heather. And that's Sunday. And of our 6 current board members, there's 3 of us here. So I'm the treasurer, acting treasurer right now. Heather is our president. And Sunday is one of the board members.
What am I?
Thank you. And our other board members are Sume Anderson. Sume has offered a lot in terms of her writing skills and helped us with her editing and writing a lot. You're going to
Paula is our secretary. She is not with us right now because she's having an adventure in California. But she has brought her strong organizational skills, and she served on other boards in the past. She's a founding member? This says floundering. That's not true at all. That's like a crazy. Yeah, and she's been with the co-op since the very beginning.
Yeah, and then also Connie.
Because their editor is out of town.
She's not here. She's a recent addition to the co-op, and she's been really helping with the technological side. She helped us get the MailChimp started going, and she does a lot of that sort of back end. And I think that she's a great asset, and so we're really stoked to have her on board. She's a new community member in TRC. That's a little bit of our board. I don't know if you guys want to talk about ourselves a little bit, and maybe our background a little bit, or anything, or just keep on going.
Yeah, we didn't really. Well, I mean, I'm one of the founders of the co-op. I'm one of the founders of the co-op as well, and I worked at the co-op in Las Cruces for 15 years, and we'll get more into all that when we do our co-op history. I'm also a retired midwife, for those of you who don't know me, and have a farm in Monticello.
Oh, I'm Sunday, and I don't know.
She's a tattoo artist.
I don't know how long I've been with the co-op. Like a year? Yeah, a year. And what am I bringing to the table?
Your art? Your art?
Yes, I am. I think I'm the resident artistic-ish person.
Sunday made this beautiful sign.
Oh, I did make our sign.
Yeah.
You can even see it right out the front door in real life.
In person.
In person. You can take a picture with it of
Selfie
yourself.
with
Mostly your feet, because it's just down on the ground. Yeah. And so you're also
I am a professional tattoo artist. It's true. That's true.
She brings the
yes,
fun.
I have a private appointment studio, only studio here in town.
and my name is Avi Berg, and as far as co-oping, I've been fully on board with co-ops. I worked at the one up in Albuquerque in the early 2000s for some years, and I've done all the different parts of food, from the planting it and to growing it and picking it and shipping it and moving it from one place to another and cooking it there and putting it on the shelf, all the things. So I'm just stoked that we're getting something like this going here, because all the good things that it brings.
Yeah. Avi was one of the first people that signed up to, when we were forming the co-op, to say, yeah, I'm interested, when we were sitting at the farmer's market in 2021 saying, you want to help us start a co-op? And then when you eventually came back to TRC, you hopped in.
And also, she's my love.
Blush. All right. Moving on. So what is a co-op?
What is a co-op?
So,
How do co-ops work?
why are we we doing this? So the International Cooperative Alliance defines a cooperative or co-op as an autonomous association of persons united voluntarily to meet their common economic, social, and cultural needs and aspirations through a jointly owned and democratically controlled enterprise, which is what we're all doing. We own this together. Yeah. Yay. Yay for all of us.
So, I mean, you might know some of this. They're actually posted around the room. Some of them are readable still. Some of them are
on my
fighting
shirt.
against nature, gravity.
And applause to some of the kids here who made the signs and decorations.
And even the ones that aren't here.
Some kids are not here.
Yeah. So, I don't know if you guys need me to like explain what a co-op is. Tell you like the overview. Not really. Most of y'all know already, right? Like, you know, otherwise you wouldn't be here. Any major questions about what we're doing? One of the highlights though is that we added the 8th. There's not officially the 8th principle yet, but we are proposing that we add that as a part of our co-op because we get to be individual and we get to choose what we put in our co-op and it's not right officially. Right, the International Cooperative Alliance hasn't yet adopted the 8th principle of diversity, equity, and inclusion, but a lot of co-ops are independently adopting it and putting it in their bylaws, and we'd like to propose that, and we're going to talk about that today. Yeah. Like one of the ways that we've enacted this is moving our location from St. Paul's Church to... Which was downstairs in a basement. Downstairs in a basement because while it was accessible to some of us, it wasn't accessible to everyone, right? Not everybody could get down those stairs to get their orders, so that's why one of the main reasons we moved to Snakestone. That single level, so right? So that we can get on street level. So that's one of the ways we're already enacting this principle, so we may as well adopt it officially. All right, moving on.
Can you repeat where you're located now?
Snakestone Studios at 324 North Broadway. So it's in the block. Reed, it's in the block between what and what?
It's between Foch and Pershing.
And to be clear, that's
right on Broadway here.
That's where our distribution is twice a month.
Yeah.
And there's another piece where like the surplus is being sold out of the Charles, and we can talk about that more as we go along. But what is our mission?
So, the mission.
Greetings, people.
Welcome. Just in time to hear the mission statement. The Prickly Pear Food Co-op is a democratic, member-owned, cooperative, which is what co-op is short for, committed to providing healthy, competitively priced food, encouraging ecologically sound and healthful patterns of both production and consumption, responding to members' needs accordingly. Let us know. You are the owners, and the co-op adheres to the cooperative economic and social values, which we're all like kind of rocking right now.
I'm bored with.
Does anyone have any disagreement? Speak your piece.
We're going to get to that part. We're going to get to the cup.
No, we're not voting about this
yet.
part
Okay.
yet. No.
Sorry.
Are you expecting people to be cantankerous?
We're ready.
So far, every decision that the board has made since I've been there has been unanimous. It has been unanimous. I don't think anybody has voted against in any of our things we've done. So give it a try. I don't know. Like it's democracy, right? Like if you can get enough of us to that.
But we're pretty good at finding consensus.
I think that we're working on that.
So a little bit of our history of how this co-op formed. As many of you probably know, the Mountain View Market Co-op in Las Cruces closed during the pandemic at the end of 2020, which caused a lot of us co-op supporters. That was the co-op that I worked at and still participated in after I didn't work there anymore. We all, those of us who were co-op diehards would go down to Las Cruces to shop and support that co-op. And that brought a community member named Samantha Yarrington to approach me. I happened to have been her midwife. And she says, well, let's, and her statement was, let's, Heather, help me start a co-op in TRC. And then we started kind of calling some of our co-op experts that we knew and got the ball rolling. We started consulting with Food Co-op Initiative, which helped us to understand what the steps were to start a co-op from scratch. We accomplished some things like doing a fundraiser so that we could start raising funds for all the things that we needed to do. We worked on our articles of incorporation over and over until the state finally sent us a form and said just fill this out. So we finally became incorporated. Sarah, who's pictured here, with one of our founding members who helped us write those articles of incorporation. She should be here soon.
She's on her way.
Okay. And yeah, we just kind of mucked through for a couple years there, trying to figure out how to get this thing official. We had some kind of catch-22s where it was like, you need a bank account before you can get a business license. You need a business license before you can get a bank account. So it was all very interesting. We attended the Up and Coming conference virtually, which I believe Linda, who just walked in, scholarshiped us to do that, which is a conference put on by FCI, Food Co-op Initiative, that helps up and coming co-ops work together with peers and learn how to build up. We finally, at the end of 2022, we got that business license and bank account. Again, thanks to Sarah, who got back in town, and when I was like, hey, somebody, let's finish this first step, and Sarah was like, I'm with you, we'll do it. Yeah, we need to start adulting. We got it. We got our business license and bank account, and I had a note here, I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, and then January of 2023, we began our wine club in St. Paul's basement, and we started actually having food.
Many of you.
And lots of people that were here were there. And it was kind of crazy for a minute. And it was a little bit like, you know, just a basement. Which is fine. It was
a wonderful
fine.
Basement with a kitchen.
Yeah, it was great. And we just appreciate St. Paul so much, and we appreciate Myra for helping with that and being the contact person for that, and just, you know, like, because it takes all of us. And from there, you know.
So from there we moved to street level, very exciting. Snake Stone Studios, I believe.
July of
We have
last
several
year.
Snake Stone Studio people here, we love them, thank you. In July of 2023, which was last year. It is actually 2024, here we are. Also, whenever we have surplus veg, fruit, items, etc., they're now available at the Charles, thanks to Avi.
Yeah, and that started in July as well.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
And then in December, boom, our 100th member. Woohoo!
There she is up there, signed up at the Charles with Avi. All right. And we're currently at 120.
We're at about 27.
20. I think we're gonna get 129 before the end of the day.
Listen.
All right. And that's kind of like our history so far. So that's a little taste of like what we've been going through and what we've been accomplishing. And
I can explain a little more as we go through these people.
these are some of the people that we really appreciate for all the help that they've given.
So
Either people who were board members or.
I'm going to explain what everybody did. So Samantha Yarrington, like I said, was pretty much our founder. She was the person that said, let's start a co-op, Heather. So and she helped us with some of those steps where we were like, we can't quite do this. Somebody needs to give the state their social security number, and none of us really wanted to. And she was like, all right, I'll do it. So she's been instrumental. Is Linda hiding? Linda DiMarino. Linda DiMarino has been a huge help with serving on the board for the first good while. Contributed so much knowledge for us in terms of being a Main Street person and being somebody who knows all the nuts and bolts of all these many things. And what was it, Linda, selling one of your famous lasagnas on our fundraiser for like a ton of money? Joanna Otigum was another board member that participated fully remotely from Wisconsin, who lived part-time in TRC and was starting a co-op up there and was a big helper. Kiki Hall was one of those community members that just understood the meaning of co-op, and when we said we need somebody to help us make a survey, she built us a survey so that we could find out if there was interest in our community for that. Suzanne Carlstead has also just been a huge supporter, a helper, volunteer, and has given us, little monetary donation. Co-op board member who has just been like so strong for us and so persistent and sticking with us in her co-op spirit. We just love you, Myra. Sonia DeLassy was one of our board members early on and gave a lot of help for our initial fundraiser. Sarah Chavarelli, still not here, was also one of our founding board members.
She's a PETA. What's gonna come? No. Oh, okay.
Non.
Oh, no, the non got here.
Got here. Oh, well, that's a good update. Non got here.
The non is here.
Yay! We have non.
I'm gonna have non.
Jessica Kumalo has been one of our board members that has served in the last year. Linda Paul Osborne has been a board member who served as treasurer recently and helped get us up to speed as a former treasurer and accountant for a nonprofit. Really helped us get a little more official and organized with our books. Shahid Mustafa is the general manager of the co-op in Las Cruces for many years. He also wrote the article about us in Edible magazine that a lot of you may have seen, and he also was the person that I was calling nonstop and still do, like, what do we do about this?
He's like our co-op mentor.
He's got one of our big co-op mentors and a big supporter of us, and he made the choice to make us heavily featured in that article in Edible when Edible maybe wanted him to focus on some of the more established co-ops. He wanted to highlight what we're doing here. Raven Willow has been really helpful, just always there in a pinch, offering space, offering to be our notary when we tried to, notarize our articles of incorporation. How many times, Myra? A couple at least. Marlena Benjamin was instrumental as a board member in creating our order form that you all get to fill out online so that we're not commenting on a Facebook thread and then, oh my God, which Avi and I are really happy about because we spent many hours, like, there's Sarah Chavarelli who we were just talking about. So Marlena helped create our order form. Colin Bosworth Clemens is such a co-op enthusiast that he helps us from Alamogordo. He helped us set up our website along with Pear Alachem, who's behind the camera here.
Yeah.
You
skipped a person.
Oh, did I?
No.
Who did I skip?
Oh no, you got him.
Kate Skinner.
Oh,
Thank you. Thank you, Reed. Kate Skinner served on our board and started that first draft of these bylaws that we're looking to improve, and also provided a lot of organization and technical support during her time as board member. The Bountiful Alliance serves as our nonprofit umbrella organization so that we were able to do a fundraiser and accept monies from the community without being an official entity yet.
And they still umbrella us.
And they're still our umbrella organization. So in case you guys meet a movie star that wants to buy us a co-op, just tell them to put it on the Bountiful Alliance website. Just swipe that card, Joaquin.
Yeah.
Pedro.
Or Pedro.
Pedro's fine.
So we also love to thank Reed Rishi and the artists of Snakestone Studios. Not just my little brother, but also a very gracious host of our co-op who lets us do that without any charge to the co-op. And Mary and St. Paul's Church before that were our hosts, and we're really grateful to them, and they continue to do many great things through St. Paul's. Colette Rogers and the Charles Hot Springs Hotel. She not only lets us store the surplus there, but she lets her employee be a co-op
She's
volunteer
given us
on
two
the clock.
refrigerators.
She's given us 2 refrigerators so far.
And we're gonna.
Misha Martin is, she's not here, but she created the thing that allows us to check people out on our spreadsheet instead of what were we doing. You can see in that history picture, Myra and I, this is what it used to look like. Here's Myra and I just sitting here doing math, trying to figure out how much somebody owed. So Misha created a spreadsheet that made it so we can type it in and make sure everything is charged the correct amount. And then all of the distribution volunteers, many of you are here that come and help us get people's orders ready, and we appreciate you. So
We just have a round of applause for everybody.
27 memberships in attendance. So 27 memberships.
Awesome.
That's great. Yeah. That's 25% almost. A little over 25%.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Awesome. So this is a fun slide. This is like we did all sorts of things with this money that we've done. So we had a fundraiser in 2021, and that got us kind of like the beginning chunk to get going, right? And so it's like $2,600. In 2023, we brought. Was that like basically we sold $30,000, over $30,000 worth of food in TRC to all you all. That's pretty amazing, right? That's and so what that like. What is this like? The
That's
next
what it
one is
costs to us.
that's what it costs to us. Is the $25,951.21. So that's our profit, is what we've made in 2023. So 4,666.08. And then on top of that, we've got all the member funds. So when we finished 2023, we had 100 people. So that's like right there. We've got more than that. That's all the way down now. So it's exciting. We've got some money to actually work with to get some of this going, and working out how to spend it correctly, spend it wisely, and basically not spend it at all until we have to. That's most of our like we buy food with it. That's it. If we don't have to buy the other stuff, like we're not going to. A lot of us, volunteer or supply the things, our our printers and all the things, right? So much of it. And that's what it's here, because we're the grassroots thing. So our upcoming expenses that we've got, that we're looking at, we already said a little bit, a scale, a nice, at least one really nice commercial scale, right? That is actually legal. Super cool. A fridge. We're looking at starting to research getting a commercial fridge, so like glass fronted, and to live at the Charles for now, and to have the produce and the food available all the time, not just when I'm working there. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute, unless it's now. I don't know.
No, I think we have it later.
I think if we do, yeah. And then we've got a preliminary market study that has been suggested that we do to see how big of a store we can have here.
What we can
Basically,
support.
yeah, what we can support, what this community, what the size will support. Basically, we give them some money, they plug in a bunch of numbers, they take a bunch of surveys, and then they say, like, you can have a 400 square foot, you can have a 4,000 square foot building, whatever, right? Makes sense. And then this grand total down here is the exciting number for me, because that means that we're doing something and that we've got something to work with. We're like getting our nest egg going. We are, when we make the next expansion, when we get to the next tier, when we make the next phase, we've got something to work with. So that's that slide. Yay slide. I think it's basically all of us. Yeah, come on up, Sunday.
And one of the things about having that nest egg is that we can start writing grants. Now that we're up to the number of members and operating for a year as a buying club, we were advised by Food Co-op Initiative, like, do it for a year, get some money going, then you can start to get grants. And some of them will be matching funds grants, which is why we are kind of like holding on to it, but also we really need that fridge and stuff.
And we have a fridge fund already started, and there's money in that fridge fund, and there's also money that has been, offered for that fridge fund. So
Anonymous community donor gave us $500 for that.
Was that cold cash?
yeah,
Cold cash.
that's right.
Yeah, it is.
Right in the hand.
Yep. They didn't even want, they passed it to one of our board members.
We don't even know who it was.
Yeah.
It was like, masks and everything.
They dropped a suitcase and then we had to come along 2 minutes
But
later.
our fridge will probably cost in the thousands, so that's a little.
We should have that soon.
Okay. Yeah.
So you're on pricing tiers. Heather's on
I am.
pricing tiers.
So we're discussing changing our pricing tiers a little bit because of some of these financial needs that we have. For example, we have people that don't want to join as a member but want to buy produce. And while we want to move it out the door, we don't want to have you all be members for nothing. So we're talking about having a non-member pricing tier. We're maybe even having a volunteer, member, and non-member, so that we can start widening those profit margins a little bit and get.
It's a lot of time and effort and labor. It's not sustainable. And also, we don't believe in it. I personally feel very strongly about this, actually. Everyone that works should be able to live. So, we want to pay somebody. Our order process is complicated and a lot of time goes into helping people. So, I guess that whole money angle is how we're gonna do that. I don't know what else I can say about that, other than that, that's
But
a
we wanna
thing that
discuss.
we're looking into. Yeah.
Not feel like they're having to do another whole thing. And then also, we do a little bit of a markup, and then we can just let it be sold to everybody. And then if you're a co-op member, when you go into the Charles, you say, hey, I'm a co-op member. And then when you buy the stuff, you get a little discount off of that. That's kind of we haven't totally figured it all out yet. We're working on that part, but gonna put a little bit towards some electricity, and because she's been housing us totally for free as well so far, but just want to make sure it feels good. That we have the opportunity, and that part's going forward. And then the next part is, like I started talking about, the market study, so that we can have a realistic idea of how big we can make our co-op here in town. If we could have one this big, or twice as big, or half as big, just like a little hole in the wall that one person at a time can get in. I don't know. We'll figure it out. That's what the market study's for.
Okay. So I guess at equitable membership access, I wanted to just put out there to the membership for maybe discussion during the member forum about some things that other co-ops are doing. Like, all of you have paid $20 a year for your membership. There are some co-ops that offer a discounted membership fee to households that have an EBT card or that qualify for food stamps, SNAP benefits. I'd like to think about doing that. Somebody came in the other day and wanted to join and asked if he could pay $5 a month towards membership. We also have a lot of tourists that would like to maybe have a month-long membership. So that's one of the future ideas that I would like to see our co-op discussing and figuring out. The cool thing about the way that co-op bylaws are written is they're not meant to cover all these little tiny details that we're talking about. That's where they stay a little vague so that the board can make a policy manual that is the current policy that can change as needed. So those are things that we could change about our policy at a later date during our board meetings, whatever. Yeah, was that everything?
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, the other thing we want to accept EBT, which is those food stamp benefits. What we discovered was that it's $80 a month to do, and when our profits are only at about $200 to $300 a month right now, it's not,
You're already under the Bountiful Alliance, who already has one for farmer's market, and you just need to get one more person trained.
it has a GPS attached to it, and it can only be used where it is, according to Claudia. I don't know,
Yeah,
Claudia's been looking.
There is, if you talk to them, there is a way to get it at 2 sites.
Like a satellite or
That's
something?
good to know.
No, where you're using it only
You have 2
one at a
GPS
time, no,
locations.
one at a time, but at 2 different sites.
Well,
So-
yeah, we can talk about that. We would love to, you
Yeah,
know,
I've talked
we've
to
been
Bob
kind of
a
going in
little bit about
circles
that.
around that
Yeah.
one, trying to figure out how to make it work, so that's awesome.
Yeah, that's great information.
Okay, so our ultimate goal is to not rely on our friends with art galleries or church basements or whatever. We would like to have a brick and mortar store, so you can like roll in during hours and be like, oh, let me just shop, okay? Dun dun dun, and you can come together, you can have a recipe board, whatever. We can do all these like community kind of vibe things. We can get in foods that people really like, you know, just start making like a thing that reflects us.
And my guess is that we're 2 years out, maybe 3,
Okay.
realistically.
Unless somebody has a building
Unless
also.
something really changes quick, like that's from if we do it at a grassroots level and we don't get like a major investor,
Oh,
I think that that's our realistic thing to shoot
Or
for.
we get a grant that pays our rent for a year, but I think we need the market study done first in order to say, yes, say you get a grant that pays your rent for a year, we do think that you'll be able to sustain yourself after that time. Like that's what the market study will really help us doing, so we don't like bite off more than we can chew and have our co-op collapse because of it. So that's why we gotta take it slow.
Yeah. And
but we
and
don't wanna
also-
shoot too
yeah.
small either, right? So
Right.
we wanna be like accurate
Yeah,
about it.
yeah, I think so, absolutely. And also that piece of, you know, how to make something last here in TRC, because sometimes it's harder to get something to stick here than other places. And that's just the reality of it, and we know what that means, that we just like do all those like things like strap our boots down deeper or like by the
Gotta be the prickly
shoelaces.
pear.
Yeah, we're prickly
Survive
pears.
anywhere.
Yeah, we're like juicy on the inside, spiky on the outside.
There are prickly pears actually on every continent except Antarctica.
I don't know.
There are.
Okay, anyway,
Moving on.
moving on.
Alright, so some of the highlights of the bylaws, did anyone, I know Sandy, I want to also recognize Sandy, who is member number 1 of the co-op. And has been really helpful and provided a lot of knowledge and expertise.
So we're kind of moving into the part where we're gonna talk about and vote on our bylaws.
Right, so I'm just, I know Sandy got to read through them. Did anyone else have a chance to read through the bylaws that were emailed to you?
It's
scintillating
So-
reading. Come on.
It kept me on the edge of my seat the whole time.
So-
What's gonna happen?
So the bylaws were,
What's in Article 5?
so we modeled our bylaws after a couple local co-ops, including Mountain View Market, which was Oregon Mountain Cooperative in Las Cruces, the Silver City Co-op, and then we also, upon the recommendation of Shahid, who also is, this is also a friend of Avi's, is the general manager of the Briar Patch Co-op in
Grass Valley and
California.
Auburn.
And they're just a kind of a really great example. So we used those 3 examples and we pretty much just plagiarized most of their bylaws.
To make it work for us.
Yeah. What the things to know about bylaws are they're written with the knowledge that amendments can come as we transition into a store. If it's not written in a way that works for having a brick and mortar store, we just do amendments and we vote on them at meetings like this, and we'll probably have other ways to vote in the future. I want to acknowledge the other Sandy as well. Sandy Tilley back there helped us with our bylaws committee and taking a look at these, giving her experience as having run a co-op in New York, right? Yeah. We included basic language to encompass opening a store. Like I said, it does outline the board and owner rights and responsibilities. They're a document that lay out how the cooperative is to be governed, and they are the owner's manual for a cooperative business, and you all are the owners. The process of developing bylaws is an opportunity for a group to define the details of who they are and what they aspire to become. And this is the part where I would like to offer it up for a vote for those of you that have a voting card and would like to know, does anybody have any questions before we vote in these bylaws? Okay, so I would like to see by raising of your cards.
Does everyone have a card?
I'm gonna pretend this is my card.
You're doing this.
I do too. I am a member, I get to vote. Okay.
I'll use this card.
So all in favor of ratifying the current bylaws, can I get a card up?
Is there anybody
Is
opposed?
there anyone opposed to ratifying these bylaws?
All right, great, unanimous.
Now you know what it's like to be in our little meeting.
We got bylaws.
You're so official. So the other part of that is that, a little bit, word about board members. So really, we can't actually vote in a board until we have bylaws approved. So we've just been like the volunteer board. We have nine seats on it. Is
Possible.
that what we wrote? We have 9 seats and we have
As-
6 filled. So at this point, without anybody else running for board, what we'd like to do is just vote in the 6 of us as board members, and then at any time, and hopefully in a year, we actually have enough people running for board that we can, at this meeting, you can stand up and be like, well, I think the co-op should go in this direction, and I think it should go in this direction. We actually get to have a little bit more of a democratic process. Right now, it's like, anybody that will serve on the board, we want you.
Anyone?
We need you.
Anyone?
So with that said, I would like to ask for all in favor of, what am I trying to say?
Ratifying our board.
Yeah, ratifying or.
The board as it
Voting
stands.
our board as it
Do
stands.
you want to go back to the frame?
All in favor?
No, it's fine.
Do you remember who all it was? Are you guys cool with everybody? It'll be fine.
Voting in
It's these
these
people.
6 humans.
assholes.
Vote for myself.
Help, anybody opposed?
Anyone opposed to voting in
Any
the
opposed?
current board?
Okay, good. Okay.
And great.
Awesome.
We're so official.
Good job, yay!
Now, we
So-
would love to hear from everyone here.
If anybody wants to if any of your questions haven't been answered yet, if you have thoughts and comments, we're happy to hear it and have a discussion now. We're also happy to receive them whenever. But yeah, this is up. Anybody have something they want to bring up? And
I have a question. There was a sign up about herbs and, yes, is that part of us?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
part of the co-op,
Something new.
yeah. So our minimum order for Frontier Herbs is $250. So we're just trying to get a list of what you'll buy once we make our order and need. And for the most part, you're getting a pound bag unless you can find someone to share it with you. And there's organic options for pretty much everything. And Frontier is a co-op, which is why we like to support them for our herbs and spices. If you go into a natural food store and you get those little jars and you
almost
weigh out
always
your
Frontier.
spices, but those are usually Frontier, yeah.
I have a question too. What about if someone were to have an excess of their own produce? Is it just a donation?
We can buy it. We
Okay.
bought it from Madeline and Monticello
Okay.
before.
See, I like
And we've
that.
had some donated, but we would buy it as well.
None more
Yeah,
local.
we would love to have more local produce for sure, and the fact that we finally got the Frontier Food Hub
out of Silver City.
out of Silver City, bringing us the mushrooms from Las Cruces and some other veggies from this region
Prickly Pear
is
kombucha.
a start. But the more local, the better, and that it's more about a juggling act for that those many hours spent trying to obtain those local items, but we welcome them.
Once we have more support in the ordering side or that piece, I think that we can start to diversify and look at getting specific distributors for specific things. So far, it's mainly just been through the CDC up in Albuquerque, the Cooperative Distribution Center with La Montanita, and then last month and a half or so, we started to work with the Frontier Food Hub, and that's basically it so far. But I just keep on wanting to get more distributors, and we just don't have enough of the human power to work all that part. Yeah.
Chase them down and get it going.
Yeah, we're trying to get silverleaf lettuce, for example, which is out of Corrales, and it's the most lovely lettuce, and it's even on the truck. Like, I see it on the truck.
I want that.
And we don't know how to get that lettuce to come to us. But we are working on it really hard. Let us have it. So anyway, yeah.
What else do you see on that truck?
And that's the thing, right? Well, I mean,
That's the main thing that we see that we're like, we want that.
Well, is there any, Asian vegetables?
Ooh, like
or,
bok choy?
Yeah,
Which I
or
think
dragon fruit,
Like-
or
We can, you know what, there's been a couple requests, I'll just add it to the order form.
yeah, I
And
don't
then-
know how to find them.
Let's learn
Well,
how to
you
grow all
use
these
the order
things
form all the
too.
time.
Bok choy.
Yeah, but I don't know how to.
Yes, just add
Who's-
those words.
I'm
Who's
gonna
taking
add
over
it.
the
When-
community garden?
it's
just
hold
dirt.
on,
Hold on. Anyway,
Hold
I'll
on.
just put
Hold on.
distraction.
I'll just
So
write
I'm
the
gonna
words
add
in.
bok choy to the order form is what I'm saying, so that next time you order, it's gonna be an option, and if enough people ask for it, then we can order
It'll
it.
come, like, you have to order a whole carton or case.
Yeah, it's usually 12 or 24, or sometimes
That'd be a lot
14.
of dragon fruit.
But there are someone else that just asked for that, so,
Did they?
Yeah.
Cause I love that.
So-
And lychee is wonderful,
Uh-huh.
same Asian stuff.
okay.
Some
So
of it
if I
is
find it-
available, but mostly the thing is that we are trying to do all organic. So if we can find it
Oh.
organic, that's the thing about some of those.
You're
Like
Yeah.
those other things. We could probably get them, but they won't be, and it might be a little
The bok
harder.
choy will probably be.
Well, the bok choy for sure, but
Bok
like the
choy.
lychee or like
Yeah.
the dragon fruit, like I don't know
I
if you
don't
can
care
get those
for
ones.
organic. They're just good. And they might be, cause they don't,
But Penny, you can write at the end of your order form.
write the words down.
Write it at that end spot where you
I'll
can just
do
type
that.
anything in, and then I'll look on the
If
sheet
you don't
and
mind.
see, like, maybe it just comes in a little box and I can just get one
That's
little
what
box
I
for you.
was wondering,
Yeah.
some of those,
couple-
Asian greens that
yeah.
you can cook or have in salad.
Yeah,
I'll get the words for it.
okay.
Any other thoughts, concerns, questions, comments?
Well, first of all, here's a suggestion, I think, it would be great to get recipes like that people,
Yes.
brought here
Yes.
tonight. Like, that would be cool.
How can we get these recipes?
Okay.
Just, like I joined because I want to support co-ops, but I've actually never ordered, like, 2 reasons. I work more than full-time, and then, yeah, the ordering process seems like overwhelming, but also just that I can't be at a distribution, so.
Because you always work during the
Yeah.
distribution times.
Well, we can work something out.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I know that I could work something out or get someone to pick it up, but it's just like an added layer
Well,
of.
Right, if
Do you-
you ordered though, it could be all packaged up and taken to the Charles for you to just pick up and.
You can also come by the Charles right now when I'm working, I work there Monday through Thursday from 9 to 3, from 3 to 9 into the evening. And I basically have produce and stuff and bulk stuff all the time there.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, so you're welcome to come and check it out, and if any of that meets your time schedules.
Yeah, okay.
And like, just to reiterate, we have a couple people who'll be like, oh, I can't get my order, we'll have it packaged up and just send it to the Charles with your name on it.
And regarding ordering, is it preferable for you guys that we order? Because I also don't like that part of it. Not that I can't do it, but I would just prefer to show up and buy what's left.
As long as you're happy with that.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know?
okay.
And it's,
I
As
do
long as
that
you
all
don't
the
mind
time,
not
too.
having any choice about what you get.
yeah.
No, I just like to look at it and then I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, mate, you
Yeah.
know, but if that's like favorable for the co-op too.
We will make a bigger order if we have more orders.
Okay.
And so it's like, you ordering could make the difference for your friend who really wanted cilantro, but I didn't get enough cilantro orders, and then you push it over the edge, and I'm like, okay, that's enough cilantro orders, I'm gonna order the case of 12 or 24.
So it is a little preferable to do the order.
It
If
helps.
there's something you
Okay.
really know you want.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, that's good to know.
Yeah, and maybe you tried it at the previous distribution and you know it was good, and then you can order it the next time. You're like, ooh, those mangoes were awesome, or something, you know.
And regarding the recipes, because we all got an email, if we send you all the recipes, is that like a lot for you to put it all together?
No, I think we could, and maybe if there's someone here who wants to volunteer to compile them, and we can make our little co-op recipe book. It could be a fundraiser.
love it.
Look
I
at
don't think it's a good idea.
You can also, if you are on Facebook, which not everybody is, I understand why. But you can also like post it your thing and be like, hey, I made this fucking thing, I got it. You know, here's the recipe.
I don't need your recipes. Recipes.
I need your recipe.
Okay.
Okay, I wanted to add into our forum that I would like to have more potlucks. I would like us to start doing this, like more regularly, like maybe seasonally. I don't know if we have enough energy, even like monthly. I don't know. Is that too much to ask?
Monthly.
Okay. At least bi-yearly, or at least on the fourth moon after. Yeah.
At the very
Or at
minimum.
least on February 29th of every 4 years. I'm just saying that I would like to have us do this more than once a
More
year.
than just once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a solar eclipse.
Yeah, we
on
should do.
April
We
8th.
could do it. We could
Or
do it
6th or something.
then.
How about down by the river? We can have a cookout.
Yeah, we could do it on four. We could do it any. We could do it any number of days.
Y'all are wild and.
I'm just saying, we've got ideas. We've got ideas for fundraising. We've got, because this town is so awesome in that, like, we've got like the grassroots energy. We have plenty of places that we could throw a party.
Yeah.
Yes.
When we were even looking at throwing this party, we had like plenty of places we could have thrown this party. And if we can make a bigger party, we can go rent out the movie theater. You know, we can do, like,
Yeah.
let's make this more of this, right? Because this is the community that we're working with, right? Yeah.
Well, put it out there like you did this.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
all here, 'cause you
Absolutely.
have that email out, so-
Yeah, absolutely. And if people like wanna get on any committees, if they wanna get on a party committee, if people are inspired to do certain things, like, please let us know. We are looking for like a volunteer coordinator, somebody who would wanna help do the volunteer coordinating and help to wrangle the volunteers.
There's one of these clipboards, is where you would sign up to do that.
So there's a clipboard for that. And then, like, we're just gonna keep on trucking ahead.
So are
I'd
you,
like to.
are you
sorry.
gonna have a monthly meeting like a lot of other clubs or?
Well, we have a monthly board meeting,
Okay,
and you've been to that one.
I thought I was in.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and we've got the distribution twice a month. And we've got, basically like every Tuesday, I'm doing the co-op stuff. So either it's a distribution or it's a meeting.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes it's a board meeting, and then sometimes it's like
Committee work party.
committee work party. And
Would that include food? Maybe, but
Yeah.
again, we need volunteers
Yeah.
to help coordinate that because we're all kind of giving as many hours as we possibly can, and some of us are giving more than we possibly can.
And those meetings happen at the library, and they're like just on a schedule. And I've been starting to put out the calendar. I don't know if people have seen the calendar on Facebook or in your emails. I hope that's helpful. So I'm trying to make sure that happens and that continues to happen so that people have heads up and know that all of our meetings are open to our members. So you're welcome to come and check out what a board meeting looks like. If that's something you want to see.
It looks like this, but without all the musicians and food.
So another topic I'd like to bring up is just, would love feedback on the idea of pricing tiers and how everybody feels like about the ideas of having different levels of pricing for different levels of participation in the co-op, so that we can start to get a little bit more that nest egg and start to
Is everybody
pay
for it?
someone.
is that?
I think what you laid out was a really good idea, and I think you should just go with that.
We're gonna go with it.
Yeah.
Could you repeat that, please, then?
Yeah, we're looking at, having pricing tiers. So right now, we're trying to support a paid position because, there's a lot of volunteering that is not sustainable. So we're talking about having maybe, letting non-members shop at a certain price that will be higher than members. And letting people who put in X number of volunteer hours per month shop at a level that's lower, and the members being the in-between.
Members will be the lowest, the volunteers will be the
Volunteers,
next, and then.
member volunteers are lowest.
And then the public or
Yeah.
whatever.
So like probably at this point, member volunteers would get the current pricing. And then members who don't volunteer would pay higher than we're paying now, and non-members would pay higher.
Something like that. We're still working that part out.
We can't really go lower than a 10% markup. It's that, like, it's really not a realistic, it's not, it can't continue in order to sustain what we're doing.
Really, realistically, across the board, I would say that we need to like have at least a 20% like minimum markup to start with, and then to go up from there. But we're working on it, and you're welcome to like
Yeah,
you
one
can keep
of
on
those I'm
talking,
asking for
chatting it
feedback
out.
about,
Yeah.
and also there might be things like, if you buy the whole case, it's a different price than if you're buying 1 pound of it.
Yeah.
I think it's good to mark it up so that you can get paid, the people can get paid, so that it feels better. Like, not that you don't feel good at doing it, but yeah, you
We already
need,
May
are.
or may not be me. I-
well, whoever,
I've
it's
done 3
like a
times.
full-time
A
job.
person.
Like
So
the- yes.
they need to get paid, yeah.
No.
And then it's incentive to volunteer. Oh, I want this price. I'm gonna give you guys X amount of hours a week or whatever.
Yeah.
So when you get an established idea of what you're going to do, then will you put that out to the membership so that we can then vote on it? Is that how
It's,
that's?
in our bylaws, it's not really a voting thing. It's, we could vote to have the usually with co-ops, you're voting for the board of directors to represent you. And so you're not voting on every little policy issue. That would be, because there's so many policy decisions we're making all the time that.
But we definitely will, like, I mean, I think that
We'd
it's,
like to get more
get
feedback.
as much feedback as we can before we
Yeah, I mean,
make
you
a
put
big.
the structure out and then ask for.
Yeah,
Part
yeah.
of the feedback. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
I like it because I think we wanna open it up to people being able to come over to just check it out.
Yes.
And they're not gonna, if they think they have to be a member and they have to pay $20 to just check it out.
Yeah.
So I feel like that exposure would be good.
So I'm also writing my last, like, installment, I mean, so far, but the newspaper really wants to get more community involvement. And so I'd be happy to share, like, any of that stuff with the newspaper too. They want content, essentially, so. To hopefully get more volunteers, more members, let it be known, have like a Cliff's Notes of today's meeting, some of the successes, and to share that with other people. Too, the history, like a little paragraph or 2 from you guys, just like with what it's all about and what we're doing for the community, and what you're doing. I don't feel like I'm just throwing a little bit of time.
Yeah,
but
no, that's.
and then someone had mentioned like how difficult it is to, Heather and I had kind of done this little sidebar the other day saying that we should do like a little ad for, like a little video of the kids maybe going through the step-by-step process of how, this is how you order, and these are our principles, and making it more available
And user-friendly for,
and educating the general public as to what, I think that's kind of, I'd be happy to volunteer to do some of that next step stuff to get the word out more, because
I need that kind of
beautiful, as beautiful as 128 memberships are, I think there are a lot of people in the community that just don't know how to do it.
Yeah, and hopefully we're gonna get our order form easier.
Yeah.
As we get more organization, we're gonna get it, you know, it'll be a smoother thing, and if there's any other thoughts, ideas, concerns, otherwise we're gonna maybe pick some door prizes. What do y'all think?
Yeah.
All right, door prizes. Yay, co-op.
We've got Santiago here to help us.